Hello everyone, we are back with another episode.
That's right. Next come the heavy artillery, presidential more like Michelle, not Hillary, feel me?
Hi everybody, it's me, it's your favorite girl. I know my hair is a little on the fritz, but I'm back. This weekend was so like blah, guys, so blah. Aside from the fact that I did have a friend come visit me, you know, he's on the road a lot. He bought me flowers. We went out like to do a few errands that I had to get done, and I had a good day. Period. Clock it. Like I said, nothing really special happened over this weekend. I'm trying to think if throughout the week anything out of the ordinary happened, but can't really think about anything. So let's just get right on into the topic. Today, what I want to talk about is people pleasing. I know that growing up black, I didn't really know any other way to say it. Growing up as a black woman or a black male, we have been really taught to people please, to stay out of trouble so that we are accepted, so that, or maybe we weren't taught it, but we just felt like we had to do that to feel like we're a part of something. And I just feel like a lot of us are unlearning those unhealthy habits. You don't have to people please to be accepted, to feel like you don't want to piss somebody off, because the way I look at it is like this. All the people that I know that are still people pleasers today are still people that are trying to be accepted. I feel like they still lack certain boundaries, you know, and I feel like boundaries are a huge part of what a lot of us learn later on in life, unfortunately, you know. I feel like I've established such strong and healthy boundaries that nobody can come into this bubble and disrupt what it is that I have going on that's healthy for myself. I feel like there are just certain things that I do. There's a certain way that I am that nobody can break. And I just love that about myself. So as far as people pleasing, I mean, today what I wanted to do was give you guys maybe a little story, you know. I feel like growing up, I was trying to be accepted by the other children around me. And even though I knew, because I was always that girl that always got straight A's, I was on honor roll, all of those things. But because I was just like in such a bad school around children that were growing up way too fast and didn't really have maybe the structure and the love, or they were just angry. You know, granted, I didn't grow up in the absolute best neighborhood, because clearly I would have been in a better school, yada, 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 but whatever. But what I'm saying is, I was just different from the other children. And sometimes I felt like, you know, because I was always the soft-spoken girl and I was always getting good grades, and you know, you see these other kids and they just look so cool. You know, they look cool, they have on all the fly stuff, they're getting attention that you're not necessarily getting, and you feel like, you know, maybe I need to kind of play into this narrative to fit in. So I'm trying to please these people that are around me that I know, you know, aren't smarter than me, aren't necessarily as pretty as me. And I'm doing things, I wouldn't say, because me, I wasn't like a problematic or just like a chaotic child where I was given a whole lot of problems. But I want to say in school, like, I might say a few crazy things to like a kid to like show them, like, you know, I'm down, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm down. But I do want to say, like, that is a part of being a people pleaser. Like, you learn to do things that you wouldn't necessarily do otherwise just to be down or to fit in. Like, see, maybe it's hard for me to think of like an actual story, because even me talking about like quote unquote people pleasing was it was like me being a kid. I never really felt like I was a huge people pleaser, but I do feel like there are certain things that I did, like, and I understand like it relationships are give and take, but I see it more than what I can say I've done. Like, people pleasing, guys, you don't have to. Here's the thing, people are never going to be satisfied. So it's like, what are we doing? Why are we choosing to please people that are never going to be satisfied? Please yourself, satisfy yourself. And then the people that are meant for you and that are your tribe are going to gravitate. I feel like if you've ever felt like you had to do something that's compromising your morals, your integrity, or any of those things, you're probably going back to like a place of trauma where you felt like, oh my gosh, I had to do this to feel accepted or to fit in with these people, because maybe I'm not getting it from where I really need to get it from, or, you know, really more so finding it within. I feel like a lot of us have to gain that confidence, that self-esteem, that self-love in order to just not really give a fuck what people have to say. Like, just to not care. Just be you, do you. As long as you're not disrespecting anyone, harming anyone, and you're not doing anything outrageous to anybody where they may feel like, why did this person do this? Where it's not traumatizing or affecting someone. Especially, I mean, sometimes I get it. Sometimes we don't know what we're doing is being detrimental. But if a person especially is bringing that to your attention, I feel like you should consider what they're saying. A lot of the times we've been in situations, guys, that are traumatic, and we don't even know that we're dealing with trauma. Like, we don't even know. We don't even know. Like, it's just crazy. I would say for me, with the whole trauma thing, like, there's a lot of situations I've been in where I had to self-reflect and say to myself, like, wow, I'm really traumatized by this experience. I may not know it, but this affects how I have moved forward in a lot of situations. And, you know, everything is about healing and working on yourself. Like, I see so many people as adults just wanting to please people and wanting to, like, do things to conform to another person's beliefs that they don't necessarily agree with, just to keep the peace. And it's like, fuck keeping the peace, because at the end of the day, you might be cordial with them and things might be okay with them, but internally you're struggling. This is not a peaceful situation for you. In your head, you're like, why am I doing this? I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't like it. Get me out of here quick, fast, and in a hurry. I feel like we need to be more real with ourselves, you know? I want to say this. There is a fine line between not being a people pleaser and just outright just not trying to understand a person and gain that understanding to meet them at a healthy medium. I feel like that is completely different. I feel like a lot of people confuse things. We definitely need to get back to understanding one another, guys. There are huge gender wars going on right now online. I know that you guys see it. You guys see the outpour of it every day. We need to be very mindful of the things that we say and generalizing people, especially an entire gender. You know, not everybody's the same. And let's be honest too. A lot of us want the relationships, the love, the understanding, the companionship, because why else would we be talking about these gender wars and this relationship shit so much? It's like, why are we talking about this so much? Why is it such a heavy talked about topic in 2026? And I was just saying to someone the other day, it feels like this has only transpired since COVID. Like, I wasn't seeing this. I don't know about you guys. You guys can comment below, but I wasn't really seeing it like that. Like, I feel like I just now started seeing this. Maybe it's because since COVID, people have gotten even more lonely than before. I mean, I get it. People were lonely before COVID. I spoke to a few people that have confirmed that. But after COVID, it just got worse. You're self-isolated now. You're figuring out you're with a partner that you don't like. You don't want to be confined in the house or a room with this person. And people are breaking up. You're seeing things unravel and unfold. And you're like, damn, I did not even know that this was like this. So, yeah, it can just be really tough. It can be really tough. And I find people, like I said, back to the people pleasing aspect, them trying to keep the peace in order to stay together. But it's like you don't really have peace within yourself, you know? And I get it. There are people that we love, but they don't necessarily walk the same path that we walk. Not everybody that we love is going to be aligned with us. There is a such thing as loving someone from a distance. You know, certain things are really hard. Do you know how many times I had to break something off with a person, whether it be a relationship, a friend, a family member, and it's just like, this is really breaking my heart. We're just not aligned though, and if I keep walking with you, you're gonna walk me off a cliff, and I don't want that. Never really been a people pleaser, and I feel like also a lot of the people that learn not to be people pleasers get a lot farther in life. I see a direct correlation with that every single time. I don't feel like I'm the farthest I should have been, and that's due to other things, other factors, like my environment, maybe the people that I've surrounded myself with that weren't necessarily the best, but were good in a certain light, in a certain aspect, right? And just not always having the proper resources. However, I feel like for what I could control, I've been able to get pretty far in life, you know, and I have pretty good discernment, I can say. But for the people that are maybe watching this and thinking to themselves, well, man, am I a people pleaser? Think about if you've ever had to do something that was compromising your morals, your integrity, that was super bad for you, that you know you shouldn't have been doing, and you were just doing it to appease someone else, you know, or whether it was one person or a big group of people, and you said to yourself, if it wasn't for them, I would have never did this. Like, I would have never did this, you know? And it actually, like, didn't benefit you in any way. Like, sometimes I understand opportunity presents itself where you're like, you know what? This may not be benefiting me now, but it could benefit me in this certain type of way, and it could keep a momentum in a relationship going with this certain group of people. So I feel like that's a little bit different, but if you're just doing stuff for someone where it benefits you in no type of way, and you just find this being an ongoing, transpiring thing, I feel like that's something that you maybe need to work on. You maybe need to do the work. Look within yourself and figure out, why are you this type of person? There's a lot of different books you could read. There's a lot of research you can do to find out why you're just so worried about pleasing others. Because honestly, people can get used to hearing no. People think that, oh, if I say no, or if I say this way or that way, that this person is not going to talk to me, okay? And if they don't, okay. Establish boundaries for yourself, because people take advantage a lot and they will walk all over you. All right? But guys, I wanted to hop on, you know, like I said, love jumping on and seeing what's up with you guys and speaking with you a little bit. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? That's always going to be one of my reminders at the end. And I will talk to you guys next week. As always, peace out.